Tonight, we're about 15 weeks out from the 2020 election, if you can believe it, and the last few days have revealed the candidates' starkly different approaches to leadership. Now, each one has tried to improve his standing on the economy and/or COVID. Now, when Biden, though, emerges from his comfy basement, he often is just shuffling upstairs to a camera near his French doors, with a bucolic scene framing the shot. Yesterday, he tried to show us that he'd be more hands-on regarding the pandemic, offering never-before-heard solutions like appoint a commanding COVID officer or he'd help small businesses. Oh, wait, didn't Trump already do that? Try again, Joe. Well, of course, we know, regardless of what he says, the only big thing that poor old Joe would do differently are the lockdowns. In other words, he'd mandate a national shelter-in-place order, which, of course, would push us toward a socialist cliff, and over time, it would end up killing more people than it would save. But, of course, he had to start his attempt at relevancy with a shot at the Trump economy.
This man simply doesn't understand. He can't deal with our economic crisis without serving and saving and solving the public health crisis. For all his bluster about his expertise on the economy, he's unable to explain how it will actually help working families hit the hardest.
I mean, just laughable. Trump's retort to this is so easy. He kept the economy afloat by signing an unprecedented relief package, and his resistance to permanent lockdowns actually helped the economy rebound faster than any of the so-called experts could ever have imagined.
Want to go back to work as opposed to be sort of forced into a position where they're making more money than they expected to make, and the employers are having a hard time getting them back to work. We were very generous with them. I think that it's been a tremendously successful program. We're in a pandemic, and yet we're producing tremendous number of jobs. That was something that nobody thought possible.
Well, he's right about that. And beyond the generous checks sent to American workers, more generous than I might have liked, but we are already seeing a recovery. 4.8 million jobs added in June after 2.7 million added in May. So could a Biden economy ever approach that in the middle of a pandemic? Of course not. Because with no credible plan to create jobs, Biden could only use the empathizer-in-chief approach while trash-talking school reopening plans.
If you had to put your career on hold indefinitely or seen your hours cut or your job lost, the confusion over school reopening only makes things worse.
Confusion over school reopenings. The president has been incredibly consistent on this.
I think they should open the schools, absolutely. I don't consider our country coming back if the schools are closed.
Open up our schools, open them up. Data shows children have the lowest fatality risk.
Your son, your grandchildren, are you comfortable? Do you plan to have them back in person in school?
Yeah, well, I am comfortable with that.
But Joe Biden's points on this are all union talking points. Basically, Biden wants to unionize child care and home health care workers. He wants to give the teachers unions a big, basically, stay-at-home vacation, keep all the kids at home. And with the healthcare workers and the other workers getting unionized, who gets to foot that bill?
And the way we pay for it is by rolling back unproductive tax cuts while ensuring high-income earners pay their tax bills. We invest that would add up to $775 billion over 10 years.
Well, that's a lot of unproductive tax cuts, isn't it? And of course, by investment, Joe Biden means spending. Well, there's no such thing as a free lunch or free elder care or free child care, as nice as that sounds. You'll be bilked for the cash with crushing new taxes while he and his cronies create a new government-funded series of unions, all captive to the Democrat Party. But don't worry about all the details. After all, Joe doesn't have to, because the press is essentially acting as his campaign comms team. Now, while the president himself, he faces these types of inquiries.
Do you plan to do a national strategy to help schools reopen and reopen safely?
Do you want the American people to judge you on the ballot in November by how you've handled this pandemic?
3 governors today came out with new orders on mask requirements. Is that something you wish all the governors would do?
If Americans keep dying, are you responsible for that?
Okay, nice people. By contrast, this was Biden's Q&A session yesterday.
Thank you for listening. I look forward to having your questions at another time, but I'm off to another event. Thank you, Senator.
I mean, they don't even bother shouting questions anymore. He just shuffles off, dodders off the stage. Bye, Joe. Now, time and again, he devolves into bromides, Biden does, with all the originality of a Hallmark card.
The president's supposed to care, to lead, to take responsibility, to never give up. That's what presidents are supposed to do.
It's like one of those corporate posters. While empathy is nice, don't be fooled by the aw shuck stuff that he's selling. This is all part of a carefully orchestrated masquerade. Look at Joe, he's such a sweet old man, and he really cares about us.
This is Joe Biden's empathy, which people believe is a real selling point.
We know Biden has empathy, but this time around he connected policy and empathy.
He understands that empathy isn't a huge part of his job.
Will you come back?
I'll be happy to come back. By the way, we were thinking of you as vice president, but then you took this job. So, you know, what can we do?
You know, he wanted to just lean in for that shoulder rub, but he got confused. He was on satellite. Now, this is the kindly face of an administration that's going to ram through crushing regulations, speech codes, new taxes, reparations, and radicalism at every turn. Meanwhile, Biden refuses to subject himself to difficult interviews, either because he's incapable of answering tough questions, cognitive decline, or he's afraid that maybe he'll reveal the truth, that to survive in his party, he's become little more than a puppet of the radical left and BLM. It's a movement that believes the founders were evil, capitalism is evil, the Constitution is evil, most Americans are racist and thus evil. You get my drift. But we're supposed to believe that the only guy is sweet old Joe Biden who can save us? Are we supposed to believe now that Obama, you know, he wasn't as talented as Joe is now? I mean, they were together for 8 years. Well, so Barack Obama wasn't really authentic, couldn't get the job done? The most telling moment over the last few days was when Biden invoked his dad.
He used to have a saying, he'd say, Joey, I don't expect the government to solve my problems, but I sure in hell expect them to understand my problem.
Well, that's complete nonsense. The government's job is to allow you the freedom to solve your own problems and make your own way. Government doesn't understand anything. It's not a person. We have to see the gauzy Biden sympathy routine for what it is. Just because someone claims to care doesn't mean they can make our lives better or strengthen our nation. Jimmy Carter cared. Look where that got us. Time and again, we see Biden wear compassion as fashion. But the, I care stuff is just a veneer to distract from how far left that he's had to move on almost every major issue facing America. And he's even trying to perfect the squad's racial smears.
No sitting president has ever done this. Never, never, never. No Republican president has done this. No Democratic president. We have racists, and they've existed. They've tried to get elected president. He's the first one that has.
Number one, that's disgusting. Number two, it's false and defamatory. Trump shouldn't tolerate this, and he should continue to appeal to black voters about the outright lies they're being told in order to hold them back. And number three, it's all very ironic, given Biden's own checkered history on racial rhetoric and his abysmal policy failures. President Trump slapped back today.
We passed criminal justice reform, something that Obama and Biden were unable to do. We did opportunity cities. We had the best African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, almost every group was the best for unemployment.
That's what I call caring. Results. And you know what real compassion looks like? Offering crime-fighting assistance to the most crime-ravaged communities in America, where law-abiding Americans, many of them black, suffer due to unprosecuted drug and gang violence.
Today, I'm announcing a surge of federal law enforcement into American communities plagued by violent crime.
Operation Legend is not to harass, it's not to harm or to hurt. It is to help investigate unsolved murders, and which one of those happened to be our innocent 4-year-old son. We have to take a stand in our communities and speak up to help this operation.
Everyone should watch that Operation Legend event today. I'll tweet it out later. You'll be better for watching it. Biden is engaged in a high-stakes shell game. Stoke enough fear in the public about the virus or racism, and maybe no one will notice that he's a doddering fool who can't control the mob on the streets or the mob in his own party. This is one care package that will blow up our future if we let it, and that's the angle.